So we are 1 week behind, and you won't believe the reason why.
Terremoto!
I've been feeling so small.
Hey there, my name is Yami. I am your Latina next door. Welcome back to Mi Casa. So today is episode 3 of our Building a Farmhouse series. We are in season 2 now, and we've already had an entire season 1 that we have shared with you guys, which is where we basically build our house from the ground up from nothing. I'll make sure to put the playlist below. Now we're continuing our series now that we are inside of the house, and it's all going to be comprised of all of the interior finishes. So as construction goes, there are always going to be delays, but we did not expect this one. A little over a week ago, Tennessee, in our area, Middle Tennessee, we actually experienced an earthquake. And unfortunately, me and my family slept through it. We didn't feel it, but a lot of people in our area did. And everything was fine. There was no significant damage, or so we thought. And come to find, several days later, it seems to have damaged some of the infrastructure for our water system here where we get our water from. Currently, we have utility water, so our water actually got shut off, and we were almost an entire week without water. And that was very difficult for us. The kids had to stay home from school because obviously there wasn't water in any of the schools. And so it just made things very difficult. Nelson had to go to the store and buy bottled water, and we had to conserve as much as possible. And it was just something that we had never experienced before. Now, you guys know that we're going to have well water at the house, so that should not be an issue going forward, but it was just something that came out of left field. And apparently what happened is that the earthquake shook the ground, obviously, and since we're here on bedrock because we're on top of a mountain, a lot of the pipes, since they were a little bit older and the dirt doesn't have much give because there's so much rock everywhere, apparently it just started creating ruptures throughout the entire system. So there were leaks everywhere. And what made it even more difficult is the fact that we have been having so much rain in our area, our ground was completely saturated. So it was really hard to see where the leaks were coming from because there was water everywhere because of the rain that we had been getting. So it made the task even harder. Not to mention, we are in a rural area. We're a very small town, so we don't have a huge water utility, system and infrastructure. So we actually had to get help from other neighboring towns. And so again, it was something that was not meant to take as long. They had to bring in water from other areas.
So we are live here at the mountain. As you can see, they're unloading water. They got a big tanker back there. We got the news channel there and the lady right there. And all of this is because where we live right now, there's been a big, huge water leak, and we're on day 4 of no water. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get some water. We're here to pick up, local water because like all the local stores are out of water. So unfortunately, nobody can use the bathroom, take a shower, or, drinking water. So hopefully the situation gets a little better up here. So stay tuned.
We even were on the news. Our county made statewide headlines because there was just no water for days, and we didn't know when we were going to get it back. So looks like they've got all of the main breaks repaired. There should not be any leaks. We do have water again, and now we can all commence construction like normal. But for a minute there, we were a little worried. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, there has been progress made. And so I'm going to share everything that's kind of happened around and during that time because there's a lot to share. I have so many things in the house right now, and we are about to get ready to install it all. So all that you see right here is actually our plumbing fixtures. We're talking sinks for the bathrooms. We're talking the sink for the kitchen. We're talking shower heads, bathtub fixtures, you name it, it's in here. And I'm really excited about it because these were delivered and I have yet to open them and look through them. So we're gonna do this together and I'm gonna show you like the finishes and things that I'm gonna be using in the different bathrooms, because I do want everything to have like its little personality and just be able to have different types of finishes in all of the bathrooms to give everything also a little bit of variety as well. So these first fixtures right here are actually for my son's bathroom. And this is a brand new line that Gerber has. So I was really excited about this. This thing is pretty heavy, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Gerber's fixtures. This is like a matte black, and I thought it would be nice to have a bathroom that would have only one lever for the sinks. When I was talking about designing the bathroom, my son actually thought it was kind of a cool idea to have a one-handed lever. That way he didn't have to worry about doing two. And I had picked this because I just think it's so nice and sleek, and it's a little masculine. His room is going to be blues and just a little bit darker. So I just thought that this was just a beautiful faucet for his sink area. Now, I'm not going to be able to share absolutely every single piece that's going to go in every single bathroom, but you're going to get an idea of what's going in there. And that's just for time purposes. Plus, when I go through each and every bathroom and share the process of each one getting put together and decorated and all that, I'm going to share all the details and I'm going to go more in depth as to why I chose what I did and the finishes and how everything is just going to go together. So now, if you recall, when we did the kitchen in the cottage, I ended up selecting this beautiful, heavy duty, very robust kitchen faucet for the cottage. And I have loved using that ever since. And I told my husband, I said, I'm very happy with this. I like how it functions. I like how it feels. And the finish is just as perfect as the day that we put it in there. So I said, I want that same faucet for this kitchen. And the pot filler matches it. So let's check out the pot filler. Oh my God. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. It's like it's a little industrial, and it has like the old school, almost like the hose spigot kind of look, but the color, oh, that just takes it to the next level. And it's got the same handles as the kitchen faucet. I think this is going to be beautiful. Oh my, I think it just makes a statement all in and of itself, and I'm just excited to see it go up. What do y'all think? Let me know, because and this is gonna go like this. So this is what it'll actually look like on the back of the backsplash. Which, by the way, out of all the things that I've selected for this house, the backsplash has been the hardest thing to select. Mind you, I still haven't decided on it, so more on that soon.
Look at that.
Yeah, you have to bend down, baby.
I know,
I'm shorter than you.
Well, does this remind you of anything? Look at the tubes, the turns. Um, do you remember that game as a kid? Super Mario Brothers. Um, I know this is gold, but just imagine this being green. Look at that. Doop, 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 doop. And then the little guy pops out. Boop. And then he's like.
And then you hear the thinna, thinna, thinna.
Yep. And it's like, it's a me, a Mario.
I kid you not, that's the first thing that came out of his mouth when he saw this thing.
That is pretty sweet, though. Look at that.
So this next one that I'm going to show you guys, you're either going to hate it or love it. I don't know how you feel about it. And this actually might seem like it's been a little bit, outdated, passe. I don't know, but I am going to bring a chrome back, okay? Look at this shower head. It's like a mirror. Look at that image. It's like, you can see right, yeah. It's so pretty. You guys, this is what's going to be in the shower for a guest bath. This is what our guests are going to shower under. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to have the same thing for our master shower in our primary bedroom, ensuite. And we're going to have two of them. And they're actually going to be a little bit bigger. I believe this one is an 8-inch and ours are going to be 10 inches big. However, ours are going to be the same finish as that pot filler in our bathroom. But for the, oh my gosh, I don't know. I think there's something very classic when done the right way, of the chrome shiny finish. And I cannot wait to see this up, especially since, if you don't know, if you haven't been following me on Instagram and seeing the behind the scenes, I'm going to have a white tile in the shower of our guest bath. And I think this is just going to pop up against that white shower and just really be nice and shiny. So look at this thing. I can't wait to see what that looks like installed.
So I'm like
Look
at,
here, the green light. Look at
so I'm at like 90 degrees with my knees and bending over, but this thing is gonna stick out. You know how normally the shower head, most bathrooms are kind of like just tilted, and then the water kind of comes at your face, you know, and then out. But this has like an extension arm that goes out, points down, so you're gonna have like rain just hitting you. You know, it's just
this
gonna
is the
be.
arm, and look at the
Look at
arm.
that.
Isn't that so pretty? That's gonna be hooked up right underneath there, and I just think this looks so elegant and classic. I don't know. I'm excited to see what it looks like up, and he's excited to get under
Yeah.
it.
And so, like, you know, if you're having a bad day and you want to mope around and just kind of sit at the shower, you know, at the floor of the shower, instead of the rain kind of hitting you in the face like this, it's going to come straight down like rain and just hitting you on the head. So you're like, so you can feel even worse. So, you know.
What the heck? It's supposed to make you feel better.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
Of course you are. How do you like the head?
That's what she said.
All right, so to give you an idea of the difference between this size and the one that's going to be going in our master shower, check this out. Look at look at that. This is an 8-inch and this is a 10-inch. And again, like I was saying, this is a finish that's going to go in our master bathroom. It's going to look so gorgeous. And this also has like those little, look at that. I don't think I've ever seen any of the little spouts look like that, but that's pretty neat. And I mean, that is so cool. So, like I said, I'm going to be playing with finishes in each of all the bathrooms, and I think it's going to be really nice. Now that you guys have an idea of some of the finishes and fixtures that are going to be going in some of these rooms, there's a lot more to show. So, let's get to it. All right, so behind me right here, you see all these boxes in our garage. Those are the cabinets for the kitchen alone. Like all the, and you don't even see, like, this is like 3 rows in. So this is all that's going to go in the kitchen and the pantry area. And I'm so excited right now. So, by the way, this is all from Home Outlet, and we are partnering with them to do the cabinetry in this house. So we share all about that in our big announcement video, and I'll link to that below if you guys haven't seen it either. But that's all from there, and I'm so excited because they're looking so good. Behind me right here, I have furniture already coming in, and I can't wait to share that. That's going to go upstairs in the lounge area where the kids are going to be hanging out. You guys are going to see that very soon. Here, I am currently working on all of the exterior lanterns. I am painting them like a copper color. I shared that with you guys a video or two ago that I was not going to be leaving them black, and they're still in the process of getting finished. So the water situation last week kind of, messed that up for me, and I had to put that on hold. But that is going to be coming out very soon. You guys are going to see what they look like when they're all installed. Also, we have our flooring here for the first floor. So this is what our floor is going to look like. It's just a little sneak peek. More on that later. But yeah, all of our flooring is here. We're actually prepped. Nelson and my father worked on the floors on the first floor for about 2 days straight, right, babe? Mm-hmm. Is that it? Yeah, they worked for like 2 days straight, cleaning it up, scraping all of the mud that fell from like when the drywall was finished. And they got the floors smooth as heck because there's just no other word for it. They were like either on their knees or just using large scrapers. And it was just a very daunting task, but it's done. We wanted to make sure that it was all nice and smooth and, not to interfere with the installment of the flooring because we really want it to have a nice finish and we don't want to feel anything underneath our feet. So that was done, and this is what's going to be going down. And as you can see, we're in the midst of the chaos right now. Right behind me, you're going to see here, like Nelson's working on the second panel. You guys know we have 2 large panels feeding our entire house. Nelson has one done, and he's working on the other one right now. So we are just in the thick of it. And in case you're curious, babe, how many circuits do we have?
Between the 2 panels, we have 76. So definite overkill. But that just means that none of the wires are going to get hot, and everything's sized the way that we wanted it. So we are good to go.
And as you guys can see back here, we have our really ginormous wood stove
I know, look how big that is.
in place. If you guys saw our fireplace video, you guys know that we're using a smaller one temporarily in the area because we have it. And
So I'm like, what, 6 foot tall, and then look how big that is.
and then itty bitty little stove. So that's in place, and we got that taken care of. My husband and my dad did that together because that little thing, it's little, but it is heavy. In it, right?
I think it weighs like 250 to 300 pounds.
That's crazy. So yeah, we're gonna be using that one for a little while until we find the bigger, one that we really like.
Yeah, because we got to get in to see how we like how that works, and then the big ones weigh. God, I think they're like 600 pounds. So we got that. Use it. Why not?
So yeah, so we have that here. Here you can see we have a ton of trim work. This trim work actually goes for the cabinetry that it's going to go upstairs for the kids' bathrooms. And I think as well as ours. So like the crown molding at the top of the cabinets and like the toe kicks and all that kind of stuff. That's all here. And that's going to be going upstairs. This right here is just more packaging, more decor, a couple of other, brands that I'm working with. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. So we are, getting everything prepped. We still haven't finished the stairs, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to work on getting the floors done. And then when we get there, Nelson's probably going to tie, the treads to the flooring somehow. We're going to figure that out because we've never done that before. So that's what's going on there. The carpet is doing good. We've already off-gassed it, so it's doing great. It doesn't smell as strong as it did in the beginning. What else do we got? We got a dumpster. We had the final dumpster haul, basically, right? There was so much like carpet scraps. There was trim. There was some like pallets. Extra debris, right? Just construction stuff. Oh yeah, there was stuff from like when we did the fireplace too. That stuff was there. There was just a lot of trash in the front of the house, and we're starting to clean it up because we want it to look good. We're going to start living in here pretty soon. So that's been taken care of. Oh, we got the lock on the front door. Yay! So we can lock it. So that's there. And I have to share, I'm leaving the front door progress so far for like the next video because that one is in progress and I don't want you guys to see it until it's done. So that's another project I'm working on. There's just so many little things right now that, just have to fall into place. And the first thing is the flooring. Once we get that down, everything is going to be a little bit, quicker and, faster in that sense. Let's see what else. All right, so we're upstairs now. And remember how when we installed the carpet upstairs, we had to remove all of the doors because the carpet is so thick and plush that when they were laying down the carpet, they could not fit the doors over it. So we had to remove them all, we had to shave them off, and we had to reinstall them. So they're nice and in place, and they obviously just need the doorknobs. But I'm still trying to figure out what I want though. And that's usually, a pretty quick order. That's not a problem. It won't take too long to get them. It's just taking me a while to figure out which ones I want. Now, as you can see, all of the trim for the doors have been installed. And I kind of went in there and filled in all of the nail holes, and I've already caulked everything. Same thing goes for the windows. That's done already. Now, we haven't painted any of the trim, and I don't think I'm going to end up doing that before we move in, to be quite honest. There is so much trim that if I start painting it with the time that I have every day where I can do that, it's just going to take me way too long. And honestly, I'd rather be living in the house without the trim painted, and I'll just take one room at a time and finish it out than having to wait on that to get done to move in. And there's going to be a lot of things like that. And no, we're not hiring a painter out for the interior painting of the house. Nelson and I have already painted several rooms, including like this hallway that you see right here. We're really good at painting. We're pretty fast. We know each other's, rhythms and speed. And we work very well when it comes to painting. So we're taking that on our own. And also, it's just a huge cost savings for us, right? There's a lot of things that we've DIY'd, like my husband did the electrical because we didn't want to pay out of pocket for an electrician to do that because he had the skills to do it. And that saved us a ton of money doing that. So I'm painting all of the trim. We have more cabinetry right here for the bathrooms. I'm not going to share it all right now. That's just stay tuned for that because that's a whole other video. But I'm excited about it because we can go ahead and get those installed now that we're pretty much ready to go. Now, I'm not sure if you can hear it right now. The AC is on, it is running, and we do have it on right now, mostly on the upstairs because it gets obviously hotter on the second floor of a home because, hot air travels up. And so Nelson decided to go ahead and turn on the HVAC on the upstairs portion so that it just removes all humidity and just keeps everything nice and dry and just a better temperature so that everything stays nice and preserved and taken care of. So that's running and it's really nice. Now, one more thing that I would like to do is clean all of the windows because of construction dust and stuff. It's just there's just everywhere, and right now even on the walls there's like a thin layer of dust. And I even bought me one of these things just so I can wipe the walls down. So I have to, take this off and go in there and then like literally just dust the walls so that everything is just nice and clean. Of course, the air conditioning running and getting the dust and particles out of the air also helps. But cleaning construction like dust and dirt, it just really sucks. I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan of it at all. But we're going to make it happen. Another exciting thing happening this week is we have our water filtration system for our well water coming in and being installed. We're excited about that. As a matter of fact, I just saw the plumber today. So he is coming this week to install that water filtration system and get a couple of trim work items done inside of the house. But we're very close in getting water running in our space. So that's another thing that's really cool. Another thing that I've been working on behind the scenes is that I am working with a carpenter who actually did our shelves for our cottage when we built it out. And he is doing a custom hood vent for my kitchen. We already talked to him, we met up with him, and right now he's working on it based on my the images that I showed him and the size that I want and how it's going to work with the rest of the cabinetry. He's also working on a custom cabinet that's going to go in the guest bathroom. That's going to be shelving, and it's also going to have like a built-in hamper that's going to go in this little nook that I have for the guest bathroom as well. And that has all been pretty much, designed by me, and then he's just going to put it together. He's a whiz when it comes to cabinetry, and he can just put something up so easily. He comes here, takes the measurements, I tell him what to do, and it comes back and it fits. I don't know how he does it, but so that's going to be really nice to have. A lot more is happening, a lot more is going on, and I just kind of wanted to bring you guys along and just kind of see that there is progress. It seems a little slow. There's a lot of things happening, but we're going to get there. And even if we had our, little setback last week with no water, things are still moving along. It might take us a little longer to get inside the house, but we're going to do it regardless.
It just seems like everything is coming all at the same time, and yeah, the rest is on us, which is I think the stuff we've always done. Like we've gotten all the difficult stuff behind us. The rest that we have, not that it's easy, it's stuff we've done, if that makes sense. So like the rest is like super hard, but like on a downslope.
Right. And I did mention that earlier that we're going to be like, we're not going to have the trim painted when we move in. I don't even care about that. And I'm going to be doing it myself. That's just, it's more important to get in than to do that before we get in because then it would just push back our move in date way too much. just with the minimal time that I have, because I have other things like the kids, right? And taking care of us in the household. So there's just things like that we're just going to push off. We're not going to have everything 100%. And I think that's just going to work for us. And I think I think it'll actually be less stressful, to be quite honest, because we're going to be here. So that's kind of where we're at. I think we've covered everything. We're good. Next thing, we're going to have the floors down, the cabinets in. We're going to be having running water. So yeah, that's today's video. That's today's update.
Yep. Probably long. They're all long.
Well, I hope it was interesting though, because we did go through a lot of different things and you guys are seeing that there's stuff everywhere. Thank you guys for being so patient as always. And that's a wrap for episode 3 of our interior finishes in our Building a Farmhouse series. So we will see you back here very soon. Until then, adios.
Go dogs.
The clock ticking off the wall, but tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure.